Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Today I wanted to share a homeschooling hack for those of you who might need something different in their homeschool. Maybe a way to get your day started easier, maybe for the entire day to just go easier. So I want you to try this for your morning routine. Having a good morning routine in your homeschool can make or break your day. And for some people, a homeschool morning routine can be something as simple as just diving into whatever they have assigned for their children that day. I have decided for the past couple of years to ease into our days a little bit more slowly, and I found that it works so much better when we do it this way. So I wanted to share with you what we do, some ideas for how you can do this, and some reasons why you might want to try this. Well, I already gave you the first reason. It helps you to ease into your day. I am not a morning person. I'm really not. My husband works second shift and I like to wait up for him so he doesn't get home until after midnight. And until he settles down for the night, we usually don't go to bed until after 1 a.m. And then I am back up at 8:30, which is early for me. I know that it's not for most people. It's early for me. And I really don't feel like jumping in full force to a homeschooling day as soon as I wake up. But I also don't want to wait until after my husband leaves for work after 1 o'clock in the afternoon to start everything because, I like to spend time with him while he's home, so I don't do homeschooling while he is home. I try to do it after he leaves for work. Waiting until after 1 o'clock, though, especially when you're homeschooling, I was going to say 6, but actually 7 because I'm helping to homeschool my son-in-law's sister. We wouldn't get done until the evening time, even with a relaxed homeschool schedule, just because some things do take longer when you teach them individually. But having a good morning routine can help you get so much done with relatively little effort from you, the homeschooling parent, and in many cases, no effort from you, the homeschooling parent, for the morning routine, other than maybe writing it on the whiteboard or giving it to them in some other way so that they know what they're supposed to do every day for the morning routine. The second reason that I really encourage you to have a morning routine is just to teach your children responsibility. The morning routine that I have set in place is a list of activities that the children can do independently without any help from me, but they are challenging, they cover various subject areas, and they cover the basics. But it helps to instill responsibility into your children. And it is also a confidence booster because not only do they know that they are able to do this, and this, all without mom's help, but they also know that they have all of this stuff checked off their list before mom even starts doing those other activities with them. And, for most children, checking off those things on the whiteboard or wherever you happen to write them for your children, that gives them a lot of satisfaction. And I have to say that some days it gives me a lot of satisfaction as well. And the third reason that you want to have some sort of morning routine in place, specifically a morning routine that teaches responsibility and helps you ease into your day, is because you can use it as a backup plan for those days when you might have doctor's appointments to do, maybe grocery shopping. And for our family, that's like an all-day affair. There are many things that come up in our lives and we don't want to just cut out our homeschooling day. We really prefer to keep the day going, but even if we can't have a full day, having a good morning routine in which your child does not need your help with anything can help you to at least get half a day's work done. And the fun part about that is that for you, the parent, that is super simple. If you have a dentist appointments for your children, just tell them, hey, do your morning routine. And to you, it feels like you're not doing school that day. To your children, that feels like a pleasant surprise because they're so used to doing their morning routine and then maybe something else with you later on in the day that they're like, oh, cool, this is a half day. So really, it's a win-win situation to have that sort of backup plan in place. So first of all, I want to say that if you are going to do this, it is called a routine for a reason. You want to make it a habit, something that your children know they're going to be doing every day. So I'm going to repeat that. Have your children do this every day so that it becomes second nature to them. My children are so used to doing their morning routine now that they often do it while I'm still asleep in the morning, or sometimes maybe the night before. I'll see my children just all sprawled out on the sofa doing their morning work, because I usually write it on the whiteboard the night before, and that really helps them to get a head start. And they like that, and I like the satisfaction of seeing my children take the initiative to start their homeschooling early. And yeah, they're getting these things done without my help. So I'm going to just share some ideas for this morning routine, and you might come up with ideas on your own, and there are so many different options for how you can do this morning routine, but this is what has been working phenomenally for me. So I mentioned this before. You want to make sure that you choose activities that they can do independently. And in just a bit, I will go over some ideas for that with you. Secondly, whatever you choose for your morning routine, you want to make sure that you cover the basics. You want to make sure that you have some math in there. You want to make sure that you have some writing in there and some reading in there. The 3 R's are called the basics for a reason: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Try to use some way to get those into your daily morning routine. You also want to try to include an array of subject areas. I know I'm not big on breaking things up into subject for our homeschooling activities, which is why I enjoy doing unit studies so much. But for those days when you are going to use it as your backup plan, it is helpful to have a bunch of different subjects covered in your morning routine so that you can rest assured as the homeschooling parent that your children did do their homeschooling that day. And I know that most states don't even require that you write everything down and are pretty relaxed in their regulations. But sometimes it's we, the parents, who kind of just need that reassurance that we're doing the right thing and that we're not shorting our children. So yeah, making sure that you're giving your children a smorgasbord of ideas that cover a variety of subjects is a good idea for you to do. And I just said variety when it comes to subjects, and I'm also going to say variety in the kind of activities that they do. You don't want them to get bored with it because, again, this is something that they're going to be doing every day. So if every single thing that they do for their morning routine is just the same thing, it's going to be tiresome. So try to use different sorts of activities. Maybe some things are drawing. Maybe some things are more physically related. Maybe some things are just reading. Maybe some things are just writing. Mix it up a bit so that your child can have a little bit more fun with their routine than if they were just doing very repetitive work, which even as adults, admit it, we don't like that either. So now's the part where I'm going to share with you some ideas on what specifically you can do for your morning routine. First, I'm going to share with you what we specifically are doing in our homeschool, just because I know that this is working for us, and I know that we're getting a lot done, even though it seems to the children that they're not really getting a lot done. This is something that is super simple for them. So silent reading, of course, is a great thing to introduce for your morning routine. And not only silent reading, sometimes my children will read fluff. And yeah, I'm okay with that. Other times they might be reading historical fiction. Other times they might be reading nonfiction. Right now, I think I have one child reading, I think it's Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And then I have another one reading Little House on the Prairie. And yet I have another one reading D'Aulaire's book of Greek myths. So you can implement any kind of silent reading. I typically let my children choose their own silent reading books unless I see that all they're choosing is fluff and nothing more, or if I think that they're not challenging themselves enough, then I might suggest things or maybe give them choices. But for the most part, my children are choosing what they read every day. And no, I don't have them write about it. I don't have them write essays or little book it. What do they do for those book it programs? Maybe some of them they have to like write a summary. Just have a conversation with your child about what they read. Hey, what did you read today? Who's your favorite character? What do you think is going to happen next? Natural conversations. You don't need to make your homeschool anything like school. We prefer not to. So the second thing that we do in our morning routine is math drills. And this is something that is really just to help the children to get to know their basic math facts like this. I don't want my children to have to count on their fingers when someone asks them what 8 times 7 is, or when they might need to know what 8 times 7 is. I want them to know what 8 times 7 is like that. So that's where the math drills come in. Now, for those children who finish their math drills books, or for those older children who might not need math drills books, what I have been doing instead of that is letting them do 1 page in their fun schooling journals every day. Now, a lot of the fun schooling journals, if you buy them, will tell you to do like 6 pages a day, or we have one for a fun schooling book for high school and it says to do 12 pages a day. We don't use it like that. We just use it for our morning routine, and they do 1 page a day in their fun schooling journal. If you don't know what those are, I have a few here with me that I can share with you. So this one is the Animal Lovers Fun Schooling Journal. And the fun schooling journals really just have them complete different activities about different subject areas. They will typically have to go to the library, and they will choose whatever books they want to learn about. And then the rest of their book is pretty much based on whatever topics they chose. So this one here is specifically for animal lovers. And I'm not going to share all of them that I have, because I have so many different types of fun schooling journals, but this is one of them, the Animal Lovers. Another one that some of my children are doing right now is the All About Pets Minecraft Fun Schooling Journal. I guess, as you can tell, my family, we're animal lovers. So yeah, and even though this is an All About Pets fun schooling journal, sometimes it does get a little bit narrow, so you can tweak them if you need to. And I have already said to them, hey, you know what? If you don't want to do a pet today, just do an animal. And so for us, it's kind of All About Animals Minecraft Fun Schooling Journal, because yeah, the pets were getting a little bit boring for my children, because sometimes they like some of those more exotic animals. But as you can see here, like, these fun schooling journals do include a wide variety of subject areas, right? There's geography. They do writing in here. They have math sections. Now for younger kids, you know, we have like dot to dot, but it's not just dot to dot. A lot of times it's like dot to dot counting by 8s or something like that. There are even building challenges in this particular Minecraft one. And for example, design and build a home for your pet in your Minecraft world with Lego or in real life. So it challenges you to do STEM activities. So, and here this one even has handwriting practice. I highly recommend these, and just use them however you want. Don't feel like you have to use them specifically how it says in the front of the book, you know, doing such and such number of pages every day. Just do what works for your family. We only do 1 a day because it's just part of our basic morning routine. And this is the last one that I have here with me, is just Fun Schooling Math for Minecrafters. And this is just basically a math fun schooling book. But it also has building challenges too that my children love to do. But this kind of makes math a little bit more fun. And as you can probably guess, my children are avid Minecrafters. So they really do enjoy these books in particular. So the next thing that we do in our morning routine is we have what's called a notebooking loop. And that's really so that I can get my children to write something every day. So what's in our notebooking loop is copywork, journaling, and interest-led notebooking. I have so many videos on these notebooks that I'm not going to get too much into them. I will link them in the description box if you are interested in them. I'll just give you very quick descriptions. Copywork is just copying word for word, punctuation by punctuation, capital letter by capital letter. Usually we will use a Bible verse. Sometimes they can choose a passage that they like. Sometimes they can write song lyrics, or they can copy a poem. But the idea is that they are copying something else, and they are copying it exactly as it is written. And this really helps them to learn spelling and grammar and writing style and writing mechanics. Journaling is the next one in our loop. So they don't do all 3 of these every day. They just kind of do copy work on one day, journaling the next day, then notebooking the next day, and then copy work, and then journaling. And it just keeps going on and on like that. So journaling is really just what it sounds like. It's just free writing journals. They can write about whatever they would like to. And interest-led notebooking is they have to choose one topic that they're really, really interested in, and they have to research it, and they have to write about it on that day. And they can write about it in any way that they want. They can write a summary of what they read about that topic that day. They can write a little report if they want. They can write a comic strip about it if they want. They can write or draw a really detailed drawing about it and then include maybe some sort of caption, because besides being animal lovers and Minecrafters, most of my children are artists and they're much better at drawing than I ever was. So that's what we do for the notebooking loop to get writing into our morning routine. The next thing that we do every day is a daily doodle, because I just mentioned how much they like drawing. So I put a doodle prompt in their morning routine, and every day I give them something specific that they need to draw. So it could be something as simple as cherry tree. It could be something as maybe more complicated as like amusement park. So every day it's just a random thing that I challenge them to draw. And, we keep it super simple. They have a daily doodle section in their binder, and I just fold a piece of printer paper into quarters, and they just use one square every day. So it's 4 doodles per one side of a page. So it doesn't take up a lot of paper, but it's something that they like doing, and it's something that I like looking at because some of their drawings are really neat. And the last thing? Yeah, the last thing that we do right now in our morning routine is a word of the day. So it's usually some sort of vocabulary word that has to do with our current unit study. So for example, our word, I'm looking at the whiteboard in front of me. Our word for tomorrow is Messiah. Today's word was prophecy. Yesterday's word was Trinity. When we were doing our town and community unit study, the word of the days were things like borough and community and council and things like that. So what they have to do for that is they have to look up that word and they have to write the definition. And then in their binder, in the section for their unit study, they have a glossary section, and that is where they write those words. And all of this is done independently. Yes, once in a while, one of my children might have a question for me, usually regarding something in the Minecraft books, because not just Minecraft, but I should say fun schooling journals, because sometimes it will say something like to go on a nature study and they have to draw something that they see, and it might be raining outside, or I might not be available like to take them out for a nature study at that time. So they might say, hey mom, is it okay if I just go out on the back porch and look out in the trees and draw something there, because we have lots of woods behind us. So, it's usually questions like that. Or mom, it says that I have to watch a movie today. Is it okay if I watch 3 Coyote Peterson videos in a row? Okay. And that was actually a question that I had today. So it's usually questions like that when it comes to the morning routine. And, at first when you start it, don't automatically think that your children are going to know right away how to do it, and they're just going to dive right in and they're never going to have questions. They will have questions at first because they need to get used to that routine. They need to get used to doing things independently. But once they do, trust me, it's so fantastic. It's a good feeling. Now, some ideas that we have used in the past that we no longer use but are still good morning routine ideas are mapping. At one point, I had every day, my children had a blank map of the United States, and I would write on the board what state they had to find. And so they would go out to a map that we had on the kitchen wall, and they would find the state on the map. They would label it on their map, and then on the back of their map, they would have to write the capital city of that state and the abbreviation. And yeah, that was something else that after they got used to it, they just did it every day. Pulled out their map, went out to the map on the kitchen wall, labeled it, bam, they were done with that, and they had geography in for the day. Now, yeah, sometimes we did a little more geography work in the activities, but yeah, geography is covered in mapping. Another thing that we used to do is we used to do handwriting, penmanship practice. And that's something that most of my children finished their penmanship books. So we aren't doing those right now. But if we get to a point where we maybe have used up one of our morning routine activities, I do have some thicker penmanship books that I can pull back out and throw back in there if need be. Another thing that we actually used to use in our morning routine is we used to do German together as a family. And so what I had was I had a little German coloring book in their morning work, and they would color a page in the German coloring book, and they would learn the vocabulary word that that coloring page was for. And so for that, yeah, a lot of times, most of the time, they would need to come to me and ask me how to say it. But I would just tell them how to say it. It wasn't a big deal. And it was something that, again, they really enjoyed doing. And the last idea that I'm going to share with you that we used to do is we just used to do spelling 3 times each. I would assign my children a list of 10 words every week. I usually use the lists from Natural Speller, and I'll leave links for all the books that we use for our morning routine in the description box. But we use Natural Speller, just assigned 10 books, no, sorry, not 10 books, 10 words out of Natural Speller, and each of my children would just write each of those 3 times each, and that was in their morning routine as well. But yeah, there are just so many options for what you can do, and it is really up to you as the parent. You know your child's interests, you know their strengths, you know what it is that you want them to cover. So these are all just ideas that we have specifically used, or that we are using now, and it's just to kind of give you a jumping off point if you would like to, get something going like this in your homeschool. Because after 15 years of homeschooling, I'm going to tell you that I wish I would have been doing this from the beginning. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one either here or over on Instagram. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.